Tonight, a push to replenish Montana's cattle stock.
A fight over foreign beef. Why Congressman Downing says Montana ranchers deserve the first shot at feeding America. Coming up.
Plus, with uncertainty surrounding SNAP benefits, how food banks are preparing for a possible uptick. And later, it's still Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're catching up with a survivor and an expert about the need for timely quality care.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Thank you for trusting KRTV for your 530 news. I'm Hallie Schwannard in for Tim McGonigal. First this evening, Montana Congressman Troy Downing spent some time on a ranch in Hobson today. He toured the Stevenson's Diamond Dot Ranch. He wanted to see their operation, and as MTN's Anissa Coomer explains, he also spoke about the importance of growing Montana's herd amid calls to import foreign beef.
I'm here at Stevenson's Diamond Dot Ranch in Hobson, where Congressman Downing is meeting with Montana ranchers to talk about the future of American beef. His visit comes just days after he and several House Republicans sent a letter to President Trump urging the administration to prioritize U.S. producers over foreign beef imports. Downing says the goal is to make sure Montana ranchers have every opportunity to meet market demand right here at home.
Food security is national security, so we need to make sure that we're watching out for the folks that are actually putting food on our tables.
Downing and a group of Republican lawmakers sent a letter to the White House last week voicing concern over reports the U.S. could begin importing beef from Argentina. They're asking for more transparency around safety standards and how such a move would impact domestic producers.
We were concerned about affecting consumer prices by bringing in more foreign beef. Our emphasis should be on solving the problem by growing the U.S. herd, not by bringing in more foreign beef.
Montana's cattle herd has dropped by more than 400,000 head since 2020. Ranchers like Adana Stevenson says that makes protecting local markets even more important.
If you bring in cheap beef from foreign countries, especially with the fact that there's no country of origin labeling, there's no way that consumers can really tell where their meat's coming from, it just drives the prices down here.
Stevenson says ranchers face steep costs and tight margins, and foreign competition could make it harder to stay in business. She says seeing lawmakers come out to listen firsthand makes a real difference.
We're just hoping and praying that the people that we voted for and elected in the state are going to really try to represent the cattlemen's interests, because Montana has more cattle than it does people.
Downing says those concerns highlight the need for policy that strengthens the U.S. cattle industry and ensures consumers know where their beef is coming from.
I think that there needs to be more conversation between the policymakers and the folks that are actually doing the work. We don't have big packing houses in Montana. We have producers, so I need to make sure that I'm representing them, and we need to make sure that their voices are being heard.
Congressman Downing says he plans to continue visiting ranches across central and eastern Montana to bring those producer concerns back to Washington. Reporting in Hobson, I'm Anissa Coomer, MTN News.
Today, we're wrapping up our look at the 4 candidates running for 2 open seats on the Great Falls City Commission. Matt Pipinich is a business owner who says he's ready to bring new ideas to local government. Pipinich owns Luna Coffee Bar in downtown Great Falls and has a background in corporate management and community development. He says his top priorities are strengthening relationships between the city, county, and local organizations, and addressing challenges like housing costs, public safety, and homelessness through long-term planning and collaboration. He believes the city needs a more strategic approach to affordability as well as growth.
Getting more and more involved in local communities, you understand the importance of local government and how that impacts your community, but is often not the focus of most people within that community. And so as I got involved, I began seeing more and more a need to build better relationships and strengthen coalitions.
Pipinich says he wants to see more business development in Great Falls, especially the growth of partnerships between corporate, local businesses, and the city to create jobs and grow the local economy. You can find our full interview with Pipinich on our website. That's KRTV.com. Tomorrow, we'll be taking a look at the 2 candidates running for mayor of Great Falls. That's Corey Reeves and Jasmine Taylor.
Good Thursday evening. Well, if you're up early this morning, right before sunrise, we actually had the chance to see the northern lights throughout parts of the area with clear skies in place up in Canyon Ferry. This was taken by Tammy Jenkins. And looking out at that Opportunity Bank of Montana weather cam, nice and clear, beautiful fall day. Those temperatures right around normal for this time of year in the upper 40s, low 50s. And we have quiet conditions going into Halloween as well. And then we see a big warm up this weekend on Saturday. Temperatures could come close to 70 degrees in some areas. We actually could approach record high temperatures, and we'll also be tracking another round of some high wind, especially Saturday night into Sunday. Those winds were pretty gusty into eastern Montana, but we saw much quieter conditions for central Montana with those wind speeds generally between about 5 and 10 miles per hour. Your Friday and your Halloween is just looking gorgeous across the area. We'll continue to see those light winds. Some clouds will start to move in towards the tail end of the day, so you'll notice that in Helena. And as you are headed out to trick-or-treats, we'll see those skies filling in with some clouds and temperatures starting to fall back towards the 40s.
As the government shutdown continues, many fear SNAP or food stamp payments will lapse. The Food Research and Action Center tracks SNAP participation all across the country. Here's a snapshot of Montana. The darker the green, the higher the usage. They say about 11% of households in Cascade County utilize this program. Glacier County is about 22%, and Lewis and Clark about 10%. The city of Great Falls and food banks across the country are worried about what a delay in benefits could mean. MTN's Quentin Shores checked in with some food pantries here in Cascade County to see how their supplies are doing.
And we're in uncharted territory, so we don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know exactly how it's going to affect us. I think there's roughly around 9,000 people that are on 9,000 families in Great Falls that receive SNAP benefits.
As the government shutdown continues past the 30-day mark, the U.S. Department of Agriculture states that it cannot pay the needed $8 billion in food stamp benefits for the month of November if the shutdown continues.
The concern with a shutdown like that, or the lack of SNAP benefits, is that our system is going to get overrun with need.
If no funding bill is passed, then no funding is provided, leaving many who rely on food assistance programs like the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, to turn to food banks and pantries in their community.
So what we're doing is we're basically just overstocking for right now. We're in a position where we can do that. On certain items, we can't do it on everything. We just don't have the capacity.
The shutdown also has a domino effect. Not only does it affect those who use SNAP, but it also affects the stores that they patron, as they won't be making as many sales, and the food pantries, as they now have to overstock on items and hope for the best.
It really has been keeping all of us awake at night, honestly. It has the potential to just have devastating consequences on the people that we care for here at Helping Hands.
The people being those in need of food, the houseless, the mentally unwell, and those who cannot provide for themselves. Helping Hands is an organization dedicated to hospitality and assistance of those in need.
We believe that showing people that kind of love is actually what changes things. We believe really that the food is a vehicle for the love. And when somebody feels cared about, that's when real change can happen.
According to the USDA, the average monthly SNAP benefit per person can range around $170 to $200. Once loaded onto an EBT card, benefit holders can then shop for groceries and basic necessities in stores.
These are not just folks who are, hanging out and eating bonbons at home. These are often people who are single moms who are raising kids on their own. These are often veterans who have served their country well. These are often older folks who have some sort of disability and no family to help them whatsoever.
Food pantries across Montana are doing everything they can to assist those in need, but in order to continue to feed people, they need financial assistance from those who can give it.
It's just time for us to look past all of the politicians who are talking at us and yelling at us and dividing us, and come together as a community and as neighbors to look after our own.
In Great Falls, I'm Quentin Shores, MTN News.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and one Great Falls resident is in remission of the disease. We'll tell you her story on MTN News.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Well, October is winding down, but it is still Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This year's theme recognizes the diversity of experiences and reinforces the need for compassionate, timely, quality care. MTN's Justin Robichaux caught up with a survivor and an expert.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Great Falls resident Maria Tom is in remission from the disease. She explains how it all started on her road to recovery.
I found a big lump and it was a shock, and I was talking to my boyfriend and he said, you need to go get that looked at, and I consulted a couple of my physicians and they had said you need to get some more exams, and we ended up finding out that it was a pretty big tumor, and it was very emotional and I cried for days.
Maria was diagnosed with breast cancer in May 2024 and says chemotherapy took a heavy toll.
I had 16 rounds of chemo and I had 4 deadly ones, and they made me terribly sick, and I had lost a bunch of weight, and that was the most challenging part because I just wasn't myself.
Maria had both of her breasts removed as a result of the cancer.
It was very tough because it's what I was given being born, and it was hard to lose a lot of things that you were given naturally growing up. And I've slowly learned to recover from it, and knowing that I'm going to be a brand new me and feel more womanly, getting a new set of breasts.
Benefis Sletton Cancer Institute representative Carolyn Rudders says cancer develops in 1 out of 8 women. She adds new breakthroughs in treatment are less strenuous on the body.
We are getting better and better at knowing how to treat with medicines that are very specific to each unique patient's case. And because of that, it means that we have to do less and less to a woman's body in order to safely get rid of the cancer.
Rudder says early detection can often stop breast cancer before it starts.
Sometimes we catch it when it's what we call stage 0, or DCIS is the name for that, ductal carcinoma in situ. That is almost breast cancer. Once you caught it just before it became breast cancer, and then we can treat it and nip it in the bud at that point.
Maria says getting regular mammograms is essential.
Definitely go get your mammograms, get yourself checked out, because it is definitely a very long, hard journey. So definitely get those exams taken care of.
Now in remission, Maria is looking forward to life after cancer.
It feels amazing. It was a long, hard journey for the last year, and to look forward, once I finish reconstruction, it'll be almost 2 years from start to finish, and I feel amazing, healthy, and can move on in my life.
Maria says she'll have reconstructive surgery in the spring up in Kalispell, and she is back to work part-time. In Great Falls, Justin Robichaux, MTN News.